reading from the Gospel is from Luke chapter 12, verses 49 through 56. Follow along if you are so inclined. Jesus is speaking. I came to bring fire to the earth, and how I wish it were already kindled. I have a baptism with which to be baptized, and what stress I am under until it is completed. Do you think I have come to bring peace to the earth? No, I tell you, but rather division. From now on, 5 in one household will be divided, 3 against 2, and 2 against 3. They will be divided. Father against son, and son against father, mother against daughter, and daughter against mother. Mother-in-law against her daughter-in-law, and daughter-in-law against mother-in-law. And Jesus also said to the crowds, when you see a cloud rising in the west, you immediately say, it's going to rain. And so it happens. And when you see the south wind blowing, you say, there will be scorching heat. And it happens. You hypocrites, you know how to interpret the appearance of earth and sky, but why do you not know how to interpret the present time? As you can tell from my fumbling around, I'm not really used to subbing for Pastor Mark. But I just wanted to spend a little time talking about what Luke has put on Jesus' lips. And I'm going to introduce, with apologies to country singers, Johnny Cash and June Carter Cash. Love is a burning thing, and it makes a fiery ring. Bound by wild desire, I fell into a ring of fire. I went down, 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 and ring of fire. And it burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire. Today's gospel reminds me that we Christians have divisions ourselves today. You know, there's Baptists who don't baptize children, infants, and we do. And we have Assemblies of God, fellow Christians, who speak in tongues, and some of us do not. And all sorts of different ways that we're able to worship God. And so I was not offended when I read that Luke put on Jesus' lips that we will have divisions. And I accept that. The other thing is that Jesus, I think, is towards this last part of Luke, he's looking towards his death. And so he talks about his death in terms of a baptism of fire. He's been abandoned pretty much by all the folks he loves, and he's looking towards an absolute disaster of arrest and execution. I put a book out that was very influential to me 30-some years ago. There was a group called the Jesus Seminar in the late 1960s, and that really made an impression on me. It was a group that was of biblical scholars who were studying the New Testament, looking for whether they felt the words in the Gospels were immediately attributable to Jesus, and those that perhaps the church, the growing church, had added later on. And the most peculiar thing was that after they would have their discussions, they would vote, and they voted with colored beads. Red if they thought it came actually from Jesus, pink if they weren't so sure, white, probably not, and black, no, definitely. This is the early church. This is some remembrances. It was important to me to know about Jesus more. I felt that I needed to be closer to him. I used to drive by this church and think, gee, I really think I had become a Christmas and Easter Christian, and I thought, gee, I really should go in there and check them out. But you know, and this is probably my error, I saw the cold stones outside and thought, oh, I'm not sure what's going on. And then I saw the old sign from Amos. Let water fall down like a rushing water, and God calls us to defeat racism. And that did it. I came up here, the pastor welcomed me, Joe Hoagie welcomed me, Diane and Ferd welcomed me, Margie Iddings welcomed me, Jean McKenzie welcomed me, and before I knew it, I was part of your beloved community, and I'll be forever grateful for that. It's an amazing thing that the Jesus Seminar and Marcus Borg, I have a copy of his book there, brought me back to this wonderful church, and I'm forever thankful for that. I think that's all I will say at this point. Thank you.